Sunday here, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and I have a short break in between preparing dinner and everything else that I have to get done. But what I wanted to do real quick was continue a project that I was working on Friday night. This has now been baked. This little house has been baked. There's a little flower pot there, and there's a pumpkins, aubergine. I think that's how you say it. There's a taller squash there in the back. And what I'm going to do now is glaze it with a UV resin. And here is the actual resin right here. So I'm going to glaze some of these. I won't have a chance to finish all of them, but I wanted to get some of them done. And I like to chat while I'm working here. I just released a video on the channel, and it's Leicestershire. Actually, not even Leicestershire, the county. It's Leicester, the city, which really isn't that far from me. So I'm surprised it took me so long to make it there. But Blair and I, we went up to Leicester a while ago. Not that long ago, it was early in the summer. And we spent a day just going around the city. We love to go around and doing what I call city center tours. So we did one of those. We did a city center tour. I'm going to start glazing this one. This is a UV resin, which means that when it's dry, it's going to look very shiny like this, but it basically creates a clear coat of plastic over the polymer clay, over the clay. The reason I do it, and you could do this differently. So let's say if you had something and you wanted part of it to be shiny, you could just do resin around the eyes, or if you were doing something you wanted to look wet, there's definitely ways. You don't have to do everything, but I like to coat the whole thing. And the main reason is because I like the fact that it increases the durability, makes it more stable. Polymer clay is really nice, but some of these pieces are not very thick. They're pretty thin, actually. Some of these stems, and they would easily break off. So I tend to coat everything in a clear coat of resin, such as this. Now, it uses a lot of resin. That's something that I'm noting, that as my pieces get bigger, because these are some of the largest pieces I've ever made, as they get bigger, I'm using a lot more resin. So I'm going to have to order some more. I have two different kinds. There's this one, which I really like. I like this one. And then there's another one that's highly recommended, but I haven't had as much success with that, the other one. The windows, although you can't see it, the windows in here are open. If you're like, oh, what about fumes? The windows, the higher windows are open. It's pretty windy outside, so I did turn, I closed them up, some of them, but across the top, the windows are open. I kind of closed up some of them so the wind wouldn't be so noisy in here. But it was a good weekend. Blair and I went down to London, and we went to Harrods. And I have a video. I haven't edited it yet. This was our first time ever going to Harrods. And I was absolutely shocked because I've been hearing about it for such a long time. And when we got there, we were looking for parking. And we parked on the street right beside Harrods. So Harrods is a shopping center in London. Classic, historic, and rich. Oh my goodness, that's the thing. We walked in on the first floor. We parked, and I felt like I drive an XC90, and I felt like I shouldn't even been on the street because we parked behind a Lamborghini, across from a couple of G-Wagons. And I was like, oh, this is where the rich and wealthy love to play. But I did want to experience it. I've never been there. So we wanted to go there. We went in, and it's a really unique shopping center. There's so many different stores in there, and each floor is dedicated to like different things. We came in on the first floor, not the ground floor, for like the first floor. And the first floor was, the first thing we saw was a lot of jewelry. And it was, literally crowns, just diamond encrusted crowns. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? I'm doing well today. And I was like, wow, this is fancy. And so I took my phone out and took a picture, and one of the salespeople came up to the window and was like, no photos. I'm like, okay, cool. I won't take pictures of your very expensive jewelry. So we went up to the next level, was women And then I think we went to a higher level and we ended up on a level with home goods. And we're just kind of walking through. It's, I guess, a massively large shopping center. And we were walking through and we ended up in a section with ornaments similar to these, much, much more ornate than anything that I've produced here, of course. But I wanted to see them. I'm like, oh, let me take a look at these, these ornamental figures. And the first one we saw was ceramic, and it was very urban. It was like it was a black girl, and she had on some shades, and it was just really urban. And that cost the smaller one cost about 1,500 pounds, and it was two of those, and the larger one cost about 3,500 pounds. It was okay. I'm like, okay, this is expensive. That's what I would expect in a store like this. So I wasn't too surprised. I'm like, okay. And so then there was a ceramic stormtrooper. I don't know how they got the license for that, but someone had made a ceramic stormtrooper, and that was about 3,500 pounds. I was like, okay, and there's some other things there. We were looking around. And on the table in the center was a peacock. And it was a peacock. It was a ceramic peacock, and it had monkeys on it. It was just kind of a whole scene with the centerpiece being a pink peacock. And I'm like, this is really beautiful. And it was 20,000 pounds. I was like, okay, getting a little pricey here. And at that point, I'm not in any shape, form, or fashion independently wealthy. I wish I was, but I'm not. And I was like, I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable because I had a bag on my back and my camera bag. I wasn't filming anything in there, of course, but I was concerned about like, if I bump anything in here with my bag, it can be a little clumsy sometimes. But I'm thinking to myself, if I bump anything in here, if these ceramics are going up to 20,000 pounds, then I definitely don't want to bump anything. So I was concerned about what that could do to me. So we started to leave this section. And as we were walking out, we walked past a couple of the tables. And one of the tables, YMF, how you doing? Had an elephant, also ceramic. And this was getting close to about a foot tall, half a meter tall. It's big. It's a big elephant. And I was like, okay, well, how much does this cost? Because all the price was listed. And the elephant was, I think, about, one of the babies have fallen over. I heard him when he fell. Blair's in there. She'll get him. And the elephant was about 75,000 pounds. And I was to myself like, that's an outrageous price. 75,000 pounds. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it was a glass, it was a ceramic, and it looked like it was ceramic and it had like pink highlights on it. And it wasn't overly ornate, but wow, 75,000 pounds for a figurine. I was like, wow, this is next level. And at that point, I thought I had seen what could possibly be the most expensive item in this section. And as we were walking out, we walked past another table, and this table was right in front of the staff. And I said, oh, let me take a look. And on this table let's call it a jewelry chest, but it was about, maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet, like so, a little under half, a quarter of a meter across, about a quarter meter tall. And it was black, it was ornate, and it had like cherubs and different things going up the sides of it. It was wooden. It had inlays of crystal and things of that sort. You could tell it was fancy, right? And I knew it was fancy, but I just seen a 75,000 pound elephant, but I was not anticipating the price that I saw. I'm still shocked. That jewelry chest that we saw cost 648,000 pounds. I almost fainted. 648,000 pounds. I mean, I already knew I was way out of my depth in this shopping center. And so then the guy, he walks up, he's like, hey, you ever heard of this company before? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, we get one of these in a year, and it's really ornate, and it goes back to the World Fair, and it states this, and it's a replica. And I'm thinking to myself, You're charging 648,000 pounds for a replica? Like, that is insane. It was, and he went on to spend, it was really cool because he spent a bit of time just describing the item to us. He opened it up and he described the history of it. And it came from the time and period when aristocrats would roam around the world and they would find gemstones in various parts of the world. And they would then proceed to collect them. So, and they would put them in these chests. This is what this jewelry chest was, large jewelry chest. And it wasn't made for finished jewelry. It was made for uncut stones. So they find massive sapphire or a very large ruby, and they put it in the chest. A little hot. These lights are actually hot. I always feel, I can't wipe the sweat off now because my hands are covered in this resin. But yes. And so he described the history of it, and it was really beautiful, and it was ornate. And it was 648,000 pounds. And he told me with all confidence, and he said, someone will buy it. He said, every year we sell one. We sell one a year. They make one a year, we sell one a year. He says, but every year someone buys it. He said, I don't know where they'll be from. I don't know who they are, who they may be. They could be you. He says, you know, this is Harrods. And he asked a question. He said, where in the United States can you go and shop for items like this? So this is coated in a wet glaze, and on the bottom is I don't want a lot on the bottom because I don't want it to stick anyways. And so I have this oven here, and I'll just sit it in here, and there's UV lights on all sides, even on the bottom, and that has set it. But I can put 2 in there, so I'll do one more. I'll glaze another one. I'll do this smaller one. And he said, where can you go in the US and buy an item like this? And I'm thinking to myself, nowhere. But I thought about it for a moment. I said, okay, well, maybe if you're up in New England. I've been to New England, and there are some really ritzy stores and shopping centers and areas up there in New England. Washington, D.C. has some. Of course, New York City probably has some places. But I've never been to places like that. I haven't frequented places like that. So I was thinking, maybe in New England, a couple places, some old money up there. And so then we were thinking about, okay, we started talking like, well, which families could buy it? And I was like, well, the Rothschilds. And he's like, they don't need it. They already have all this stuff. I'm going to have to take a quick, let's take this off. I'm going to have to re-glove up because I'm really sweating this. I just got really hot. So watch this for me for a second, guys. I will be right back. Okay, it's got really hot for some reason. I'm not sure. I was doing a bit of work right before I started with this. Let me re-glove up now. But it was just, I've never seen anything that costs that much money. And you would say, oh, I've seen fancy cars. I expect the crowns. And he's like, oh, you should go to the jewelry section. He said, there's jewelry down there that costs, $20 million for some of these. I'm like, yeah, I expect a diamond encrusted crown to cost that kind of money. And I expect it. I'm not surprised. But to see a jewelry chest, just the jewelry box, cost 648,000 pounds. It really kind of caught me off guard. It blew me away. And it let me realize, like, wow, there are levels. There are levels to this. But it was beautiful. I'm not trying to imply that it didn't look good. It did look really good. Okay. I'm going to need a bit more resin on this one to thin out. The thing about it, it's UV resin. The sun will dry these if you put them in the sun and let it sit, but I would never want to do that because it just takes a long time. It also will be an uneven dry. So I have this container that I bought over here. It's this little oven. Although there's no heat involved, it just is light. It's a place that I can put it and it shines UV light on it, and then it's a cycle of 15 minutes, and I sit this under the UV light for 15 minutes, pull it out. Typically, one round of 15 minutes is all it takes. Sometimes it still may be a little tacky, meaning it's a little sticky. If the light didn't hit it all the way around, and I'll do another 15-minute segment with it. Let it go through again for 15 more minutes. And then that's it. It is completed and it is glazed. At that point, it's very, I say, stable. I still wouldn't want to sit it in the sun because the sunlight can, over time, cause some of these resins to take on a yellow hue. It can yellow some of these resins. These resins are a lot better than they used to be. But yeah, that was what Blair and I did yesterday. We went to Harrods, and it was fun. It was our first time there, and then we ended up down in the basement. We filmed a video down in the basement that's going to go out on the channel. Wow, in months from now. But we did film a video while we were there. Not of any of the ultra expensive stuff. That's not even what we went for. We just wanted to see what was there, but we did want to film a video there. We did work with the staff down in the basement, film some stuff there, and that's holiday related. But it was a good day. We started the day not in London. We started at RHS Wisley because there was a flower show there. So we started the day at a flower show, and it was just Blair and I. The kids were with the sitter. We had a day away from the kids. The sitter, she came in, she was with them, had them all day long. And Blair and I, we didn't make it home until really, it was actually pretty late when we got in, but it was a good day. And sometimes we like to get away from the herd. We love the herd. They're our herd. It's our herd, right? We created it. We love it. But we do also enjoy getting away sometimes. Okay. Did this one a little quickly. It's smaller, but this one is now glazed as well. This one is glazed, but it's not set. This resin is wet, like liquids. But think about it as a liquid plastic. That's pretty much what it is. It's like a liquid plastic. Now, every one of these I'm trying to improve upon it. What I didn't like about this one was that the leaves on the top, I used just one color. So all the leaves are the same color. And I just feel like there's not enough just texture, the coloration is just too much the same. So I started varying the color of the leaves. I just feel like there's more dynamic. It's fall, so some of these are green, some are starting to go brown, some are yellow. And I wanted to kind of put that in there. From the Dominican Republic, thank you. I haven't tried to sell these. I just started making them like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. This is a skill I've been working on, and then slowly, it's like everything, the more you do it, you start to get better. And like, this is the first time I've ever created anything. I think that's like, okay, these are started, maybe someone will want to buy it, but it takes a lot of time to make it. And I'm not necessarily trying to do them for sale. I just do them right now because I enjoy making them. I don't want to sit it down until I get it. Let me use this paper towel because I don't want to get this resin on anything. All right. So I have 2 of them sitting in the box now, and I will take these gloves off. I'll take off one, and I'll work on some more a bit later, but that's all I want to do right now because I can only do, say, 2 at a time. I don't want to put too many in there because if you put them in there and they touch, and if the resin from one touches the resin from the other one, it dries like it's solid. It is solid. And so that is no good. There we go. And it's like a purple light. Can't really show you too well as I move the camera around. But there you go. I don't know if you can see it. So there's kind of a purple glow in there, but it's spinning. It's also sitting on a plate and it's spinning. There's light. There's a band of UV lights on the back. There's some on the top and there's some on the bottom. The plate is clear. And so what I'm getting is the light is shining on all sides, and then you let it sit there and it'll just spin and go through that cycle for about 15 minutes. And that's what the setting is. And again, in about 15 minutes, I will be able to take that out and it will be hard and dry. What I plan to do with them right now, we're just going to set them on a mantle, and it'll be part of a fall themed I have some other pumpkins and things I made, and my daughter asked me to break these out. I made these, and I have some things I made last year, and we just kind of set them up on the mantle. And through the harvest season, through the fall season, around that Halloween pumpkin time season, we'll just set these up. And then as we transition out of that, what I'll probably start to make next, probably in another couple weeks, once I make a few more of these, I will see what it'll take to make a winter themed, which is going to be more white and red. It's going to have those holiday colors. And so the tops, it'll be more candy cane based, right? So this is what started it all off. I was thinking the Smurfs. This one again, once I have put the resin on it, it is much more stable. Like the pieces won't just fall off because they're coated in plastic. So it has, this one's the little Smurf house I made, burn it on the top. I have more of these that I haven't glazed yet, but this one is glazed. But I'm thinking I'll transition, and I may go back to Smurf houses and just do snow on the top of it. But that's it, just kind of creating these little mini village pieces, so to speak. And it's just an idea, something to do. And my daughter and what I'm really trying to do is help encourage her and let her see that art can definitely be a career path for her. She's very smart, she's very bright, talented, but a lot of parents don't like their kids to do art. I'm totally cool with my daughter doing art because, well, as the example I gave just a moment ago, all those pieces that I saw in Harrods in the ceramic section that cost $2,000, $3,000, $20,000, $74,000, £648,000, all of those pieces were created by artists. Today, real time, today's artists, not historical, not Rembrandt, but today's artists are still able to create some magnificent pieces. I could make a model village. That's kind of the idea of like, what else would I want to add? So if it's a pumpkin patch village, what are the pieces what I want to add to it? I have the houses, and I haven't thought to say, okay, what else would I, with the pumpkin patch village. So this is a Smurf village. Let's move it over there. I know what goes in the Smurf village, but if I'm doing a pumpkin patch village, which I have others of these that I've made, and I'm arranging them, what else would be, well, I would think you'd need a village hall. So I would need to do a big pumpkin. I would have to do at least one big pumpkin and put windows in it. And so these would be arrayed, and then there's a bigger one in the center, and the village is around the village hall. I would need to get a lot more of the orange colored clay to do something like that, which I'm not in objection to doing. It would be kind of cool if I could do something. I would think it would be, so if this is the house size, then the village hall would be, space these out, maybe this big, I'm sorry, you can't really see the size of it, but like this big. I don't want to go this big. I don't want to go to scale. I want to keep the scale appropriate. So if this is the house, then the village hall would be larger. Of course, I'd have to change techniques. This is just clay without a scaffolding. If I did something that big, I'd have to use aluminum and other things to make a scaffolding and then put the clay on the outside to make it bigger. But it'd be cool to do. It would take a bit longer to work on a project. The other concern is I have to make sure I don't get so big that I can't put it inside of the UV. I have other UV units that's smaller, or make it so big that I can't put it inside the oven because this has to go into an oven to bake. I have small ovens, but I could use a larger oven. Yeah, I may do that. I may make a village hall. That'd be kind of cool. A cool thing to work on. I could do that over the next week or so. So I like to jump on and do these lives. I typically do these on Friday. So it's like Friday night chat and craft, like a craft and chat. I'm not sure which word should come first. Craft and chat or chat and craft. I'm doing them both. So I'm not sure. But normally I do these on Friday, but I had a bit of time here, which I'm about out of time now. But I had a little bit of time and I wanted to jump on tonight and to just kind of show you what I'm doing as far as finishing this one up. Not this one. This one is made out of a softer clay. That's why it's more squat. It's lower. Softer clay just doesn't hold the form very well. But it's done. I'm not going to throw it away. It's going to be added to the collection. So I did want to jump on. I appreciate everyone jumping in with me. And it's been wonderful having everyone in on these chats. Again, I may do one during the middle of the week. I'm not sure. If I have time, I will. But if not, anticipate catching me on Friday for a Friday craft and chat session. And I may have started the village, or I may continue to move forward with making a few more of these or finishing up a few more of these in the next chat session before I move on to the holiday themed, when holiday being the more red and white snow, a winter theme. I'm not quite ready to go to the winter theme yet. I'm going to stay here for a little while longer. And so this is what I'm talking about. But this is glazed. You see, I can move that. This is not glazed, and I just pop that piece off. It's fine because I'll just sit it back in here. And then when I glaze it, it'll seal it back into place. But that's it for now, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good week. It is a Sunday, start of a new week tomorrow. Everyone's going and running. So have a good week, and I hope to have one as well. See you soon.